The federal government is now setting its sights on daytime television, and The View might be walking into a regulatory minefield that could change everything we know about broadcast television. Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr dropped a bombshell announcement Thursday, declaring that an official investigation into ABC's flagship daytime talk show would be absolutely worthwhile, following the recent indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late-night program. The timing isn't coincidental, and the implications stretch far beyond what most viewers realize. Speaking candidly during his appearance on The Scott Jennings Show, Carr didn't mince words when addressing what he sees as a fundamental violation of broadcasting standards. His concern centers around the FCC's long-standing equal time regulation, a rule designed to ensure that television broadcasters provide balanced opportunities for all political candidates. But here's where it gets controversial. This rule specifically exempts programs classified as bona fide news shows from these requirements. I suppose someone could argue that The View qualifies as a legitimate news program, but honestly, I have serious doubts about that classification. Carr explained, his skepticism evident. What I believe deserves immediate attention is having the FCC conduct a thorough examination of whether The View and similar programs still meet the criteria for bona fide news programming, and therefore whether they should continue enjoying exemption from the equal opportunity standards that Congress established. The numbers behind this controversy are absolutely staggering, and this is the part most people miss. According to comprehensive research conducted by the Media Research Center, The View didn't invite a single conservative or right-leaning guest to participate in political discussions during the 4-month period from January through April 2025. Not one. Meanwhile, during this exact same time frame, the show rolled out the red carpet for an impressive 63 liberal guests, including 9 sitting Democratic politicians who use the platform to advance their political agendas. These statistics raise uncomfortable questions about media bias that go to the heart of broadcast regulations. When a television program claims news exemption status while simultaneously providing a platform exclusively for one political perspective, are they operating within the spirit of federal broadcasting law? The answer might surprise you. The tension between The View and conservative political figures has been escalating for months, creating what many industry insiders describe as an inevitable collision course. The Trump administration has been particularly vocal in its criticism of the show's hosts and their frequent, often heated criticisms of President Donald Trump's policies and leadership style. The situation reached a boiling point in July when a White House spokesperson issued what many interpreted as a direct threat, warning that The View could face being pulled off air if the inflammatory attacks against the president didn't cease immediately. This unprecedented warning sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and raised serious questions about the boundaries between political criticism and potential regulatory consequences. But here's where the story takes an even more dramatic turn. An entertainment attorney who represents multiple clients at ABC, speaking on condition of anonymity, provided Fox News Digital with an insider perspective that should concern everyone involved with the show. Honestly, I believe The View is next on the chopping block, the lawyer stated bluntly, suggesting that the show's heavily liberal brand identity has become more of a liability than an asset in the current regulatory climate. This legal expert's prediction gains additional weight when viewed in the context of recent events. Carr's call for investigation came precisely one day after ABC made the shocking decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely, a move that sent ripples throughout the broadcasting industry. The suspension resulted directly from comments made by late-night host Jimmy Kimmel regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination incident. We witnessed some truly unprecedented lows over the weekend, with the MAGA movement desperately attempting to characterize this individual who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of their own supporters, while simultaneously doing everything possible to extract political advantage from this tragedy. Kimmel stated during his program, comments that ultimately sealed his show's fate. Carr had been building pressure on ABC and its parent company Disney even before announcing Kimmel's suspension, making his position crystal clear regarding broadcaster responsibilities and public interest obligations. From the very moment I assumed the chairmanship of the FCC, I've been absolutely committed to reinvigorating our focus on the public interest, Carr emphasized during his interview. What many people fail to understand is that television broadcasters operate under completely different rules compared to other forms of media communication. They hold licenses granted directly by the FCC, and those licenses come with non-negotiable obligations to serve the public interest. His message to the broadcasting industry was unmistakably direct and carried an implicit threat that should make executives nervous. Listen, we can approach this situation through cooperation or confrontation. These media companies can voluntarily find ways to modify their conduct and take appropriate action regarding situations like Kimmel's behavior. Or alternatively, the FCC will have significantly more regulatory work to accomplish in the coming months. This developing situation raises fundamental questions about the future of political discourse on television and the role of federal regulators in shaping media content. Are we witnessing the beginning of a broader crackdown on politically oriented programming? Or is this simply long overdue enforcement of existing regulations that have been ignored for too long? The controversy also highlights a deeper issue about media bias and the responsibility of broadcasters who claim news exemptions while potentially operating as political advocacy platforms. Should programs like The View be held to different standards if they want to maintain their exempt status? Or does this represent government overreach into editorial decision-making? What's your take on this explosive situation? Do you believe The View should face the same regulatory scrutiny as Jimmy Kimmel's program, or does this represent a dangerous precedent for government interference in media content? Should broadcasters who claim news exemptions be required to demonstrate genuine political balance, or would such requirements fundamentally undermine press freedom? Share your thoughts, and let's debate whether this regulatory action represents necessary accountability or concerning censorship.